Welcome to Gaming in the Past. You know, the current year of this video is 2026, which means anything from 2006 is or will be 20 years old. Next year will be 2027, which means anything from 2007 will be 20 years old then. This has been Danny with Complex Mathematics. No, but really, one game that is nearly the big 2-0 is a little game known as Portal, an idea that came from a student project game called Narbacular Drop. In late 2007, the orange box was released on Windows, Xbox 360, and PlayStation 3. It was a compilation game that included Half-Life 2, Half-Life 2 Episodes 1 and 2, Team Fortress 2, and of course, Portal 1 actually. So thankfully, we do at least have one form of physical media for this game at this point in time, at least on consoles. Anyway, while this game was meant to be nothing more than a little side game for people who bought the Tangerine Crate, it ended up becoming a whole franchise. Mostly of spin-offs, but that's a story for another day. So let's have a look-see at this here game of Portals, the Windows PC version on Steam. You can tell right away what the tone of the game will be with this title screen, mostly in the music. Most of the music in this game has sort of an unsettling vibe to it. But we're not here for the music, we're here for them portals, gol darn it! We start off in this room with a sleeping pod, a radio, a toilet, and other things. For some reason, I have a feeling we're about to hear a very emotional human voice play over the...
Hello, and again, welcome to the Aperture Science Computer-Aided Enrichment Center.
Never said my feelings were completely correct. That is, Genetic Lifeform and Disk Operating System, or GLaDOS, talking to us. Get used to hearing her voice, because you'll be hearing it a lot throughout the game, and she may or may not play a big role later in the game.
The portal will open in 3, 2, 1.
We got him! We got portals! Portals are also the only way you can actually look at the character we're using, Chell. Despite being Portal, the first puzzle of the game is placing a big cube on a big red button. This is how it is for the first few rooms of the game, but portals are still involved. We just don't have control of them yet. Also, yes, the rooms in this game are basically the levels of this game. To a certain point, but we'll get to that later. It isn't until you get to this room where you actually get the portal gun. At this point it only fires the blue portals, so you don't have total control, but at least you have it now. Back in 2007, putting things through portals and falling through portals was one of the funnest things you could do in gaming. This is what makes Portal a blast to play. Once you get the dual portal device, using your noodle to solve these puzzles can be very fun. Using them to get from one end to another, using them to get cubes from one end to another, defeating enemies, which I'll get to in a bit, using momentum, it's just a great puzzling good time. It can also make you feel more smart-like. Not to mention, the humor of the game is also great to hear.
If you become lightheaded from thirst, feel free to pass out. An intubation associate will be dispatched to revive you with peptic salve and adrenaline.
A lot of dry, dark humor that can help you get through this something feels off setting.
Cake and grief counseling will be available at the conclusion of the test. Thank you for helping us help you help us all.
As the game goes on, puzzles tend to get a bit harder, as most puzzle games do. They also get a bit more dangerous for the character, with things like the acid water or whatever this stuff is, and the sentry turrets. These are parts where you can actually die in the game. The turrets are also why this game has the teen rating, as when they shoot you, blood appears on the walls and floors and such. But don't get too mad at them, they're just doing their job. Nevertheless, you can still kill them by pushing them over or sending them through these particle fields. Despite being robots, they have a lot of personality. Also, as the game goes on, along with harder puzzles, things feel more and more off. Like something doesn't feel quite right, as if there's something going on behind the scenes of this facility. Look, I'm saying all this for people who actually don't know much about these games, alright? At least we've been promised some cake by the end of all this. Again, saving for later for those who don't know. Whenever you get to the last puzzle, you just gotta place portals in just the right places and follow these moving platforms. After that, we've reached the end of the game with the cake symbol there and let's go back a few levels. During the first turret level, you see this open wall where you can look behind the scenes of the facility. This is where the famous "the cake is a lie" line comes from, as it's written multiple times, along with pictures and drawings that seem to confirm the "something's off" suspicions. You find a couple more of these throughout the game until you reach the moment where a freaking fire is about to kill us. Guess we'll know how the companion cube feels now. Unless we use the portal walls that others didn't use, I guess. GLaDOS doesn't seem very happy after we do this. This point in the game is where the levels just become areas of the facility. We see many more of these drawings and broken parts of this place. You get to go in the rooms that watch over the test subjects going through certain puzzle rooms. They've obviously been abandoned, as you don't see another living soul throughout any part of the building. Which may or may not have been, but was definitely GLaDOS' doing. From this point on, we have to use our knowledge of portals to escape this place. As you go through, you see more and more of what goes on, or went on, behind the scenes. So we're basically doing more puzzles, just in a bit of a different way, while still using portals. Eventually, we end up in one final room. The room with GLaDOS room.
Despite your violent behavior, the only thing you've managed to break so far is my heart.
Gotta be honest, not the most attractive female character in a video game, but I'm sure she attracts someone. This is where we basically take everything we've learned throughout the game and apply it here, with the exception of the cubes on buttons.
Stop. You're kidding me. Did you just stuff that aperture science thing, we don't know what it does, into an aperture science emergency intelligence incinerator? That has got to be the dumbest thing that— whoa.
We direct this missile launcher to shoot through portals to hit GLaDOS. Then we take these robotic spheres that fall off of her and toss them down into the pit of hell. And we do all this as GLaDOS never stops talking in her now deep, dark voice. We also have a timer here since she set up the deadly neurotoxin. Not the hardest boss in the world, but still a pretty fun one. After defeating her, everything gets lifted up off the floor, including us, and we end up outside. The screen goes black, thus ending the game. If you play this on Xbox 360 or PS3. If you play this on PC or Switch, then you get this ending.
Thank you for assuming the party escort submission position.
This was updated originally for the PC version to set up Portal 2. But before it really ends, we have this nice little cutscene that shows that the cake is indeed not a lie. Credits roll with this funny little song from GLaDOS, written by Jonathan Colton. After that, we're back at the title screen with a different look and sound this time. Just in case you wanted more out of this game, there are extras, including harder versions of levels, time attacks, and a few other challenges.
Welcome to
Game name here.
There's even a commentary mode where it's the same playthrough except you have these interactive speech bubbles. You can activate them and hear different members of the team talk about how they made the game. It's a really neat way of having commentary in this game as you play. And that was Portal. I honestly don't have much criticisms for this game. I mean, the only thing I can really think of is I wish there was a bit more of it. But I do think the game is a pretty good length for what we got. If it was the same type of game but was like 10 hours, I think it would have overstayed its welcome. But just to have a tad bit more would have been nice, which is something the sequel gave us, but that's a story for another day. This is just an overall solid game that had no business being as good as it is. It's a no one asked for it but glad we got it type of game. Or like a game that we didn't know we needed. In case it wasn't clear, I really like this game. I'd highly recommend it, even on PS3, which is the version most say is the weakest version. It was definitely not the first nor the last PS3 version of a game to get that reputation, but I'm getting off topic. The point is, it's still a great game on there. While the orange box itself isn't cheap, the digital versions of Portal for Xbox, Switch, and PC are usually pretty cheap. Give it a try if you haven't already. It might just tickle your brain in a pleasing way. And don't let those who take that in a dirty way get in your way of having fun with this game. Like this video and subscribe for more if you don't mind, fellow viewers. Until next time, I'm Danny Ben S, and this has been Gaming in the Past. Thanks for watching.